Tinnitus Remedies. Tinnitus remedies can be many and varied. Hopefully this guide will help you to get a better understanding of which tinnitus remedies are right for you. Tinnitus can be triggered by conditions such as high blood pressure. In some cases it is linked to anxiety, in others, noise-induced hearing loss. Tinnitus is very common in people of all ages, and so it is important to realize that you are not alone. Why some people get tinnitus? It is important to remember that tinnitus is a symptom and not a disease. It is an interesting fact that men have problems with tinnitus more often than women. It is worth remembering that tinnitus also can be worsened by caffeine and other stimulants, so patients should try eliminating use of these substances. Tinnitus may be considered a significant symptom when its intensity so overrides normal environmental sounds that it invades the consciousness. The patient experiencing tinnitus may describe the sound as ringing, roaring, hissing, whistling, chirping, rustling, clicking or buzzing, or other descriptors. Tinnitus usually produces a shrill, high-pitched, unpleasant tone. In contrast, water and masking sounds are typically soothing. Tinnitus may disappear independently or can disappear when an underlying problem is successfully treated. In cases of chronic tinnitus for which there is no treatable underlying problem, a variety of tinnitus remedies and suggestions may help to provide substantial relief for persons who suffer from these symptoms. For 102% of the general population, this condition causes a considerable amount of distress and interferes seriously with the ability to lead a normal life. It is very difficult to treat and represents, undoubtedly, one of the most difficult therapeutical problems for the otolaryngologist. Tinnitus had been present for at least 6 years in 50% of cases, and most, 55%, reported a gradual onset. Tinnitus was described as mildly to extremely annoying by 67%. Tinnitus may occur with hearing loss. Occasionally, it is a sign of high blood pressure, an allergy, or anemia. Tinnitus can be hard to detect due to the fact that the symptoms can come and go, affect one or both ears, and be a high-pitched ringing noise or a low dull roaring sound. This makes it harder to diagnose and can lead the sufferer feeling frustrated and helpless. Tinnitus is a common problem, affecting about 17% of the general population around the world, 44 million people in the USA. It causes significant suffering in about 4% of the general population, 10 million in the USA. Tinnitus is often most noticeable when you are quiet and trying to get off to sleep. If you play a radio or stereo, it can help to mask the tinnitus noise until you drop off to sleep. This disorder can occur in one or both ears, range in pitch from a low roar to a high squeal, and may be continuous or sporadic. Tinnitus is a symptom associated with many forms of hearing loss. It can also be a symptom of other health problems. Tinnitus is the perception of noise in the ear or head, which is generated inside the body rather than coming from outside. Tinnitus is usually only heard by the person with a condition, but in a very few rare cases it can also be heard by other people. Tinnitus can be managed with some lifestyle changes. Avoiding stress, fatigue and loud noise can help. Tinnitus is a symptom associated with many forms of hearing loss. It can also be a symptom of other health problems. Tinnitus can also be a symptom of stiffening of the middle ear bones, otosclerosis. Tinnitus can be very mild and latent and only noticeable in a quiet room/bad time, or can become extremely loud and annoying to the point where the sufferer hears nothing else. It can be present all of the time, can be intermittent, and or pulsing. Tinnitus may also occur with disorders outside the ears, including anemia, heart and blood vessel disorders such as hypertension and arteriosclerosis, an underactive thyroid gland, hypothyroidism, and head injury. Tinnitus that is only in one ear or that pulsates is a more serious sign. Tinnitus latency measurements indicate that some persons with very loud tinnitus tolerate it very well, while others with a mild tinnitus claim to be on the verge of suicide if the tinnitus can't be controlled. Although it is often assumed that tinnitus occurs as a result of disease of the ears, this is often not the cause. Tinnitus is a common condition that temporarily afflicts most individuals at one time or another. Tinnitus is the perceived sensation of sound without actual acoustic stimulation. Tinnitus doesn't care about me, and I have absolutely no problem not caring about it. Tinnitus can be caused by something as simple as a buildup of wax blocking the ear canal. Some tinnitus remedies, certain antibiotics and cancer drugs, can cause or worsen tinnitus. Tinnitus can be constant or can come and go. Tinnitus remedies include aspirin for instance, but aspirin can cause a ringing in the ears at higher doses. By identifying and eliminating, if possible, the medication responsible for the symptoms, you may stop the ringing for good. Aspirin in some cases can be the cause of tinnitus, while other times, it will worsen your tinnitus. However, the thing to remember is that aspirin is not the only anti-inflammatory medication that can cause or worsen your tinnitus, because every person is different. Stress is also a major contributing factor for most tinnitus occurrences, usually caused by overwork or constant exposure to loud music or noise. Most doctors agree that stressful situations lead to some serious alterations in the body's chemical makeup, leading to the onset of the irritating and sometimes debilitating noise in the ear. If you need more information or want a definitive solution for tinnitus, you can visit my website. You just have to click the link in description.